Hello, so today I'll be speaking about drugs, different kinds of drugs, and how they can be dangerous. The reason why I chose this topic is because I believe that drugs is an important topic to talk about. As college students, it's not unknown that many people like to experiment at this time and try out different drugs. But this could lead to reckless behavior because many people are not very aware of how dangerous these drugs can be. So I believe it is important to discuss it because it's better to be educated about this topic rather than be oblivious about it. So the different types of psychoactive drugs include depressants, opiates, or otherwise known called narcotics, psychedelics, and stimulants. So first, depressants, they have the ability to slow down the central nervous system, and part of your central nervous system include your brain and the spinal cord. What happens is that it increases the amount of gamma aminobutyric acid, or GABA. This is a type of neurotransmitter that's responsible for sending messages throughout the brain. And so once the levels of GABA increases, it's able to calm what it does is it calms the neurons in the individual, which is why GABA, like the increase of GABA, helps calm individuals with anxiety. Other examples of depressants include alcohol and cannabis. And it was reported that the National Institute on Alcohol Abuse and Alcoholism stated in a study done in 2014 that 87.6% of people ages 18 or older reported that they drank alcohol at some point in their lifetime, while 71% reported that they drank in the past year. So as you can see, this is a really high number of people who actually use alcohol, and they may or may not realize that it's a depressant, as it has the ability to change one's behavior or mood, and it also alters one's visual perception, which is why people can be unsteady after drinking alcohol and are not able to walk in a straight line. But it also causes much more serious problems, such as cardiomyopathy, arrhythmias, high blood pressure, and even strokes. Heavy drinking can also damage the liver and cause conditions such as steatosis, cirrhosis, fibrosis, and alcoholic hepatitis. The next category is called opiates, and they are used to relieve pain, which is why many physicians prescribe them in order to alleviate the pain. For example, heroin is a type of opiate which comes in a white powder form, and it can either be snorted or smoked. The impure version of heroin is actually injected into the skin and veins through the needles, and it's super dangerous because it is extremely addictive. And when I looked at the statistics, it actually said that in 2013, an estimated 169,000 individuals aged 12 or older used heroin for the first time in the past year. And if you put things in perspective, it's actually roughly 460 people who start using heroin each day. Stimulants. Stimulants are used in order to temporarily increase the level of alertness and to improve one's mental functions. So as you know, many people drink coffee in order to feel more awake, but as they build a tolerance to it, they need more and more of it every single day. But coffee is actually like a less dangerous type of drug in comparison to cocaine. Cocaine is found in a white powder substance, and it can be administered in like many ways, such as like through the nose or dissolving it into water to be injected into the bloodstream. What cocaine does is that it increases the level of dopamine, and dopamine is responsible for the levels of pleasure and approval. And so when someone takes cocaine, the short-term effects of it is that it gives a very short temporary high, and then afterwards the user goes into a depression and wanting more and needing more of this drug. The long-term effects vary depending on how the cocaine was administered. For example, if it was through snorting, then problems may arise, such as nosebleeds or a runny nose. And if it was consumed by the mouth, then it would lead to severe bowel decay. And if it was administered by needles, then there would be a higher risk of getting HIV. Psychedelic drugs. One example of that is LSD, and this can either be administered by swallowing or placed under the tongue, and this is when the user experiences a change in mood, and it's something that's very unpredictable. So if the user does not stay calm, then they might end up being very panicked and feeling out of control when they are taking LSD, and they might even encounter unpleasant situations such as hallucinating. So those are the 4 categories of drugs that I have researched on, and I hope that you have a better understanding of it now. Thank you.